Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. More ETF filings. You're going to want to know about it. The DTC throwing some FUD about blockchain. XRP Ledger is set to dominate real-world assets and tokenization. You're going to find out about it today. An XRP price, not how high, but how low can it go? Wait a minute. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on YouTube and Twitter for exclusive content. Notice that nice overlay right there from the one and only Cryptographics. Shout out to him. Follow us on digperspectives.com. You're going to want to be in the Freedom Zone today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're getting into the World Summit talking about the next pandemic, is it? Oh, okay. And how do they know about that? Maybe because they're the ones involved? Who knows? We're going to find out. $1.93 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 2.8%, 48,800 plus right now for Bitcoin. 2,600 plus for Ethereum. And let me refresh this because it was moving around quite a bit. There we go. 49,100 plus now. Things were moving. 2,600 plus for Ethereum and 97.1 billion plus for the market cap of Tether. XRP's 52 cents right now, off by 0.1 on the 24-hour, up by 4.2 on the 7-day. Range of price between 51, 53 cents. We'll keep an eye on as we're sitting in the middle here. You got to see this. Did you get your ticket? And by the way, we are proud to announce that we will have Purist. That's right, Ferran Prat, the ones who have built the bridge from the Ethereum virtual machine to the XRP Ledger, participating with us in Las Vegas. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. It's so incredible. Take a look at this.
The countdown continues to XRP Las Vegas 2024. May 3rd and 4th. Get ready for a great weekend with the XRP community. Learn about Uphold's suite of services. Learn about crypto IRAs from iTrust Capital. Hear from Link2. And learn about what companies are ready for takeoff on the IPO runway. Limited tickets still available for the Future of Digital Assets Benefit Dinner featuring Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, Attorney John Deaton, Chris Giancarlo, Digital Dollar Project, Michael Arrington, Arrington Capital, and Eleanor Tarrant, Fox Business. Get your tickets to XRP Las Vegas 2024 now. Don't miss out.
There you have it. Look, this thing's shaping up, I tell you. And look, I just want to say this very quickly here as a reminder to everybody. As you look at what it takes to get yourself there, room, flight, hotel, everything, the ticket, all of it, don't look at it as a cost. You should look at it as an investment. This is not an upsell. This is serious. We got clawbacks coming to the XRP Ledger. They're already there. That is a passed amendment. We know that we already have the vote for automated market makers. The bug has been fixed. So once that's all straight, we're going to have that too. And you want to learn how possibly in the future, you may not have to ever sell your XRP ever again at all. Now, what's that worth to you? I would get a ticket, a room, and a flight booked, and come with the intention of finding out exactly as much information as I can to prepare and inform myself on how I can protect my XRP as an investment for my family's lifetime. This is serious. That's where this is going. Get your ticket, XRP Las Vegas. CNBC reports what we already know. Adrian Turkani and I think it's Ray DeMaio have left now Medico after the acquisition. And that is quite normal, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't see this as anything abstract, right? You know, there's a transition period, right? We know Naveen Gupta will be leaving Ripple, right? It'll be interesting to see where he lands, right? Remember Dilip Rao was at Ripple, and then he landed back in Australia in his home country. helping their central bank with central bank digital currencies. And I look at that as like a transitional role. Somebody with that kind of expertise and knowledge. It makes sense that Australia would want somebody from Ripple. We'll have to wonder, and I'm very excited to find out where Naveen may end up, if it's in the same sector or not. We'll wait to see. But I want you to see this because they're going to talk to Galaxy here at this panel, and they're going to talk about where are everyone right now as far as institutions and this crypto space. And he's going to highlight here, and it appears in this that this is slightly before the approval of the Bitcoin spot ETFs, right? But I want you to listen to this because it's going to set the tone of what we understand, because we do now have the approval and it is growing at a rapid pace. And we have some more news after this clip.
Just about institutions. Galaxy touches so many institutions. You probably talk to every investor and potential investor in digital assets all around the world. What is the lay of the land today? How are investors thinking about allocations to crypto?
So if we would have had this conversation a month ago, I would say it's still very bleak. Most people prefer to sit on the sidelines, a lot of wait and see, and a lot of people who just continue to kind of punt the decision. And each different institution or investor has their own unique reasoning, from it's not in my benchmark to it's high risk, it's too much vol, we don't have any liquid capital to actually even commit right now. There's the gamut. Over the last month, I would say that things have definitely changed. Speaking to some large institutions in the US, where even the internal climate, they said, had gone from hostile to lukewarm. And actually, we see it in our flow data as well. The inflows have definitely started to pick up, and that is very much a recent phenomenon.
And we know that is because we're seeing BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, ARK, all the rest of them have gotten the approvals for the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And again, they're growing at a rapid pace. And I want to highlight this right here as we move into other news here. Hong Kong listed OSL joins Swiss banking giant UBS investment grade tokenized warrant. Now, this is interesting here because look, this is where, lukewarm. Look, this isn't lukewarm. This is fire hot right here. Hong Kong listed OSL Digital Securities has participated in the Swiss banking giant UBS's investment grade tokenized warrant and simulated product life cycle. It says basically here, UBS not only represents a milestone for OSL, but also highlights the importance of maintaining high standards in the digital asset market. It is coming from all angles around the world. Franklin Templeton now, the renowned asset manager with $1.5 trillion in assets under management, has officially filed an application for an Ethereum exchange-traded fund. I have said it, we're going to see thousands of crypto ETFs, and then I think you're going to start to see index funds built off of that, a basket of all of this, right? All of it is coming, right? It is coming, and they're filing. It doesn't mean it'll get approved, but it is coming. Remember, there is some gray area from the SEC about how they're going to classify Ethereum. So we're waiting for that as well. Now, in the interim of waiting, I should say, DTC says blockchain isn't the answer to T+1, discusses tokenization potential. Now, this feels like a bit of FUD to Bradley. DTCC says blockchain isn't the answer to T+1. You go into this, Jennifer Privé, who's been heading up the global head of strategy and innovation for the DTCC, said that she doesn't believe blockchain is a solution to help with the U.S. transition to one-day T+1 settlement that will happen in May of this year. She was talking at a symposium on the tokenization of real-world assets liabilities held by the Office of Comptroller of Currency, which is the same agency that told the banks, don't even think about using XRP. That's what Brad Garlinghouse told us. Not yet. They said. So for those less familiar with the DTCC, it processed $2.5 quadrillion in securities transactions in 2022. It takes 1,000 trillion to make a quadrillion. 1 quadrillion. So if you're speaking about U.S. public equities market, there is a disconnect because of the performance and scale component. One of the key advantages of blockchain is the ability to have atomic settlement in which the asset and payment exchange simultaneously. Delivery versus payment, D versus P is what they call it. And it says here, that doesn't have to be instant. It can happen one day after trade. However, other sectors such as private stocks are a different story. She referred to other markets that are probably not as high in volume, low value. Then I think you've got opportunities to really explore this concept of on-chain real-time settlement, which I think is very interesting. Now listen to this. In 2021, the DTC explored something similar as a part of Project Whitney, which we covered heavily here. Ms. Pave believes these sort of use cases will help demonstrate confidence, credibility before tackling entrenched businesses. It says here, markets where the infrastructure is less developed make strong tokenization candidates. She mentioned the alternative sector and ETFs continue to be an interesting place for this technology simply because of the operational efficiencies you can get through the create, redeem processes, data distribution, and things of that nature. During the last couple of years, DTC has introduced several blockchain initiatives, including 2022, it launched DLT-based stock settlement system bilateral transactions that uses R3's Corda DLT. And we know R3's Corda DLT does have the ability through the Corda settler to settle with digital assets like XRP, CBDCs, stablecoins, XLM, XDC, digital assets, right? So it went live with the Trade Information Warehouse System for derivatives, which had a blockchain and conventional version. So although in part of this article, she says we don't need it, right? And it's better for smaller markets, private markets, and things of that nature. But there is no mistake that she rolls back and says, but even though we feel like we don't need it, in 2022, we did launch DLT-based stock settlement system that uses R3's Corda DLT. So they're using it. And I think she's trying to delineate the difference between blockchain like Bitcoin blockchain as opposed to DLT, right, as opposed to something like XRP's Federated Byzantine Consensus Agreement, right? Which is not exactly like Bitcoin at all. So then there's this part of this equation as well. Not only is there the relationship to R3 and using the Corda platform, but then there was the recent news back in October of just last year, just a few months ago, when we learned that the DTC acquired Securrency and then renamed it Digital Assets Platform, right? So, it's interesting. And Securrency made it very clear that the protocols for Securrency can be utilized on Ethereum, Stellar, Ripple, EOS, and other distributed ledgers, right? So there you have that. So, I think the verbiage is so important. I look at like blockchain and distributed ledger technology. I look at that the same way that I see like the word crypto synonymous with all cryptos, and they're not. That's why Brad Garlinghouse has never called XRP a crypto. He calls it a digital asset, right? Very key to understand those delineations there, I believe. And XRP is in fact set to dominate real-world asset tokenization. And we all know the work that's being done, right? We all know the work that's being done with all the central banks, the private ledger. You know the drill, right? Tokenization, it's all coming. But what do we need in order for the world to be able to do it? The very foundation of a couple very key components. One being custody. You got to have qualified custodians, or nobody's going to want to tokenize anything because I don't have a safe place to put it, right? And then the next thing is the very core tenet that Ripple started on, which is payments. So whether you're interested in institutional DeFi, whether you're interested in custody, whether you're interested in tokenization or digital ID, all of that is relevant because at some point somebody's going to want to custody their assets so they can move and make payments with it. Period. So whether the banks have been slow to want to come around to it, the truth is that banks have told Brad Garlinghouse, I already know what you got. I want to be able to, told him years ago, one of the biggest banks in the world said, I want to use it in Peru. But they need permission from the regulatory side of things before they can do that. Banks are not innovators. The private sector is. So this is the moment we're still in. And I think it's very very important that we really get that clear in determination. Now, what I want to show you very quickly in this is that obviously we had the gentleman from a recent swell event who had said he predicted between 30 and 50 trillion running on the XRP Ledger and through Archax, which was his company, right? And he predicted that by 2025. And that is a very, very positive and ambitious prediction. And I hope it comes true. But I have to tell you, even if there is 1 trillion in daily transactions happening as opposed to 30 to 50 trillion like was predicted by the gentleman, right? I can tell you that even 1 trillion a day is going to be massively impacted and felt around the world about the efficiency of this value protocol. And isn't that the most important thing? That it works? Isn't it the most important thing that we understand that there's no way in the world that any of these companies, DTCC or otherwise, they're talking to us like we don't know any better. These new systems are already running parallel to the old payment rails. Period. Full stop. And we know that because SWIFT is doing exactly that now. They refer to that as a coexisting phase. This is the same thing for everyone. When you enter into an agreement with some other company that we would like to consider doing business with each other, that usually starts in an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. And if these things work out, and I do the things from my side and you do the things from your side, and they work out, then we end up moving into a NDA and cooperation if necessary, and then we actually build on that success of that MOU, right? This is just normally how business works as a standard. So there's no way in my mind that any of this is taking place, whether it's SWIFT, coexisting phase, or R3 and the relationships they have and tying into other protocols like XRP Ledger and others and XLM and XTC and this and that. You know, all of that has to have some kind of simulation and testing phase to be done to it. Just like you test water lines, because that's a really great analogy compared to what we're talking about moving money. Money is liquidity. Liquidity is moving around the world. Payment rails are like water lines. It's not much different, to be perfectly honest. And maybe it's just my simple mind that needs to see it that way, and that's fine too. And again, shout out to Farad. We're going to have him. He's coming. Purist and their bold move, taking the EVM sidechain and paving its way to the XRP Ledger. I think this is going to be massive and open the door. And remember, while all of this interoperability is being brought together between these big protocols, which is very important, remember, the SEC hasn't made an official decision on Ethereum's protocol either. And the golden child exchange, Prometheum, has clearly stated that their first asset they're listing is Ethereum, and they're planning on listing it as a security. Now, I wonder if that could create a mass exodus off of that protocol. And where would they go? How many options would they have? And how viable of an option would the XRP Ledger look to anybody looking to get off of the Ethereum? XRP Rocket Launch and Moon, says Eggrad Crypto. I won't say much because I have strong conviction in the below chart. What about you? Well, there you are. It says it itself. This is where we are. And I do want to remind you of an article that came out also featuring Eggrad Crypto. And it says the analyst sees a potential 10,000% price rise to $26.90 plus on the monthly time frame. And that's amazing. But that's not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you today is simply this. You need to see this. This article also talks about in here, as cool as it would be to see the 26 bucks, are you prepared that cryptocurrency could be collapsing by another 40 to 72% before we have an opportunity to see the 10,000% gains? Head on a swivel. This space moves very quickly, and it takes no prisoners. Be prepared. Do not kid yourself. There is a lot of risk in this market. and I'm here for it. But I know that I'm here for it, and everybody else needs to ask their questions and look at that portfolio and make sure you're in the right place too. Right now, you're in the right place. You're in the freedom zone. We're getting ready to head in there. This is not financial advice from me or anyone else. This is just my digital perspectives. And today, again, we're going in. The World Summit's talking about the next pandemic. How did they know about the next pandemic? How come we didn't get an email, right? Well, we're going to get into that and so much more, and it's right now in the Freedom Zone. Come on in.